Everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we have a very, very special guest sitting next to me, Federico. Can you just give me a little background about yourself?
Okay, well, it would be too long if I told you all my stories. So, because
how did you get started as an artist?
well, all my family came from art. So, my grandfather was the architect of the Sorbonne in Paris, the university where I have studied. He has been the architect of that. He has been the architect of the Geneva Pavilion in Switzerland, in Geneva. And he was called Henri-Paul Nénaud. He was the Grand Prix de Rome, so he was a very famous architect in France. After, my grandfather was a painter, watercolorist, humorist, illustrator, and he was one of the first who has done advertisement in the world. So did he tell you the story behind that? How he used art for advertisement? Did he ever tell you how to? Well, no, I knew him very few. So, well, I mean, I see his work and I saw him work, but he was quite old. But I mean, he was an amazing drawer. So, at this time, you know, advertisement was mostly done by drawings. If you remember this period in the 30s, in the 20s, it was done by drawings. So it was not like today with photography, video, computing, and all this technology. And in the same way, I begin drawing because I born surrounded by pens, by paper, by wood, by things like this, with my father architect, my mother designer too. So, in fact, I was a little rebel, so I decided to do philosophy because I have been always interested in ideas. And I have graduated my master degree after 6 years in Sorbonne. And to be honest, to teach to next philosophers or next teachers in philosophy.
So when you talk about philosophy, I have no idea what philosophy is. Can you break down? Okay, essentially, what is philosophy?
Oh, this should take a lot of time.
In a very basic way that maybe I can understand it, viewers can understand it. What is having a philosophy of something?
Okay, well, I mean, to be short, I think philosophy mostly is the way to apprehend or to understand the world. So all what is about philosophy, it's about questioning the world and questioning the things to understand how they are done, how they do, and after there is many different disciplines in the philosophy.
Yeah, so we're going to talk more about your work. So you said philosophy is your comprehension of the world. So what's your philosophy of art?
I don't have a philosophy of anything in art. Well, I have a philosophy in work. I mean, for young designers, what I say, I hate when people came to see me and ask me about my talent and this, I would say, to be vulgar. Because, in fact, I think my talent is I am a huge worker. And the real talent, it's, of course, you need to be smart, to have ideas, but if you are a big worker, you can go well and you can do great things. If you are lazy, you will never do nothing.
So hard work and what you do. So I want to talk more about your artwork. And so how was it in the very beginning? We spoke off camera about how you would kind of promote yourself. Can you talk and explain about that? How did you start promoting yourself when you was just getting started?
Well, when I began the design, I came from philosophy. So why I began my first agency, Raison Pure, in fact, was naturally because if I go to knock at the doors of the design agencies, they will ask me what is my portfolio, and my portfolio was only writings. So because I have just wrote books and stuff in philosophy. So I decided, okay, if no one opened me the door, I will open myself the door. So opening the door, I create my own agency. And Fortunately, I think, because I am a big worker, and I am someone who is very curious. This is the second thing for designers, is to be curious and to have culture. My advantage, it was in philosophy. I have studied arts. I was painter at the same time because I have done exhibitions. And I would say, if you have the skills, the artistic skills, and you work, it's not to be the Picasso or whatever. It's to work, to know what is the colors, what is the fonts, what is the shapes, the sculpture. To have culture is very important, and for design mostly. The problem nowadays, I feel, is that I have done lectures in universities of design, and today the only rule is the computing. And you forget the big part of the design, who is ideas before to be a shape in a computer.